everybody. This is the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast with my boys, Nikki D below me, Reek up beside Nikki D, Cody Cornette with all the answers right beside me. And we're going to talk, just like our title says, Huge Pop is all in for Bash in Berlin. So if you hear it, we're going to talk about All In. Well, some of us are going to talk about All In. Or if we get a chance to get our word in edgewise from Cody Cornette, we'll talk about All In. And then...
Like I said,
is it worth talking about?
I just 5 minutes to get everything off my fucking chest, and I will be good for any questions afterwards.
5 minutes is yours.
Only 5 minutes.
That's all
Starting now.
Time them.
Okay. All In, the WrestleMania for AEW, their biggest show of the year. 50,000 people. They got half the damn stadium filled. That's a 90,000 people arena. You only were able to sell 50,000 tickets for a year in advance. Wow. You had shit matches that weren't even good enough to be on Collision or Rampage on this show. You had 3 good matches because of the people that were in it, that were actual wrestlers, that were actually people that care about the fucking business, who are continuing on with storylines and creative the way they want to do it. The rest of this show is nothing more than Tony Khan playing with real dolls. That's all it is.
Playing with real dolls.
It is. That's what it is. That's what it fucking is.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing with real life action figures, doing what he wants because he's continuing an indie fed from 99 because daddy's a goddamn millionaire and is going to make the sinking ship float continuously until he's dead. This is a failed concept. AEW has been around for 5 years. Professional wrestling is hot at the moment. GCW is doing good. Ring of Honor is doing good, even though it is owned by Tony Khan because it's ran by somebody fucking else. The WWE is as hot as it's ever been since the Attitude Era.
Yep.
Why can they not get the success that WWE is having? Period. Oh, but WWE is hot. That's why AEW... No! Rising tides float all boats. That is the fucking definition. That is what should be happening right now. The Monday Night Wars showed that can happen. We were sharing 10, 12, 15 million people on a Monday night against Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Facts.
So the fact that they can't get an even million, maybe 1.5 across the board on Wednesday nights means that their product is shit. People are leaving in droves. You can see it every fucking time when there's a certain segment going on. Oh, those people left. When it's a Jericho segment, at least 150 to 300,000 people leave in 15 minutes.
Say those numbers again.
You lose anywhere between 150,000 to 300,000 people after a Jericho segment.
Where do you get those numbers at?
I follow WrestleNomics. He does a great detailed report on every 15-minute segment, how many people there are by that 15th minute.
Okay.
Well, is it Jericho? So you said it's after a Jericho segment, or is it during? Are they leaving because of Jericho, or do they
leaving because of Jericho? And then sometimes they don't even get those people back. They just lost those people. They followed 3 hours of AEW programming, followed an NBA Finals game. At the beginning of the first 15 minutes, 2.8 million people. By the end of the third hour, 250,000.
That's a big drop off.
That's a huge drop off.
You can't hold 2.3 million people?
You're talking about the NBA Finals, though.
Right, but that's okay. They're sports fans. They're sports fans.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them should translate into wrestling. It's not WWE, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Cody has a point too. because back in the day, WCW and WWE were doing this crap before there was like streaming. Before you could really, like, there might have been DVR, you could use your VCR to record something. They were doing this stuff. They were pulling spectators from sporting events like Monday Night Football, like he already said, and they were doing it back then.
Right.
But wait. Okay, I'm going to piggyback off of your statement, Nikki D. Back in the day, you mentioned something like we didn't have the dirt sheets, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have all that garbage that we have now.
Yeah.
Back then, we watched, and I'm going to bash your bubble, Cody, but back then, before there was all this TikTok bullshit, all this bashing of people's opinions, bashing of people's viewpoint of a damn company, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have anything like that. We just watched it. We knew that WCW was on this time. We knew that WWE came on this time, and because there was no frustration going on in the freaking internet world of comments and opinions, we watched it because we were wrestling fans. Now my thing is with the issue I have with Cody's numbers, I guess, is some of us are AEW fans, some of us are AEW fans, and then we don't like AEW because of Tony Khan. This is all generated because we all can't have our own goddamn opinion. We have to go and we have to argue, and no one's ready. That's one of the reasons why I backed off TikTok. I hate arguing about that goddamn opinions. I get called, I'm a loser because I like the AEW. I'm a piece of shit because I like ROH. I'm this because I like this. Screw all these people. Let's get back to basics. Get rid of TikTok. Get rid of all this internet bullshit and watch wrestling how we used to watch wrestling.
Okay.
Social media is the only thing that keeps AEW relevant.
What is?
Social media. He's actually got a point. No, he has a very good point, because when AEW airs, there are more people tweeting about it than fucking watching it.
Yeah.
Just saying facts, man.
Yeah.
Every time I go on TikTok on a Wednesday, Saturday, Friday, and on Sunday night at pay-per-view, on a Saturday night or whatever night it was, pay-per-view, there was 50, 60 people having their reactions.
Oh, yeah.
So people
that's completely died off, which I'm thankful for.
People love the product. I am not a fan of the product. Because there is a lot of wasted time.
Mm-hmm.
They come up, but WWE is guilty of the same shit.
Agreed.
Sure.
There's no reason Raw needs to be 3 hours, because Raw last night sucked ass.
It did.
So if we're going to compare apples to oranges, Triple H and all them boys at Raw sucked ass yesterday, like Bash in Berlin, or just like.
But that was a Raw. That was a Raw, and you're talking about All In was a pay-per-view. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
But if we are such a hierarchy echelon of WWE, which they are, above all, they're like this. AEW is like here, and WWE is way up here.
Oh yeah,
and they deserve. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So you can't compare down here to up here.
I'm not trying to compare
if
down
WWE
here to up here.
is such a great company, whether it's a Monday Night Raw, a Friday SmackDown, or a fucking pay-per-view, they ought to be doing this level all the time, and they don't.
Well,
it's not going to be hard all the time.
It's hard. It's hard to make that on a 3-hour show. One, thankfully, and hopefully the rumors are true, that when they move to Netflix, it drops to 2. I would love that. I would hate for the rumors to be true, because if that is the truth, SmackDown might be going to 3.
What I'm saying, though, guys, is Raw's roster, Raw's writers are so good that if you can't make a solid show, and this isn't the first Raw that sucked. Raw sucked for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can't put together a show, because you have, who don't they have? Come on. WWE has such the roster. If you can't put together a show that is solid, then you don't need to be putting a show on Monday night.
Well, okay, to your point, though, Raw is surrounded by 2 things: the Wyatt family and Punk and Drew.
Judgment Day.
Or Judgment Day.
Okay, three things.
Terror
Judgment
Twins.
Day. The World Heavyweight Championship at this point is like the fourth or fifth thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that when Gunther, who is like a animal, a natural born athlete in the WWE against another natural born athlete in Randy Orton, that's going to be a hell of a match. That's like the fourth or fifth thing we're talking about.
Yeah.
Punk and Drew are fighting over a goddamn 25-cent bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're invested in it. CM Punk has made more money in 2 fucking matches than he has in the 3 years he was in AEW.
I'm wondering though. I'm just asking. I'm just kind of not stirring the pot, but I'm kind of
Stirring the pot.
asking this question though.
I think you make a good point, but it's okay. Think about something Undertaker said. Okay, Undertaker had, everybody remembers his WrestleMania matches, the streak, and then all of that stuff. And then I heard a really cool interview with him where he said, not everybody, like people remember the matches, he said, but he didn't always have classics. They remember the classics. They remember the ones that were like, wow, that was amazing. But he said, I had some really bad ones too. That's WrestleMania. That's like, yeah. So I mean, but the point is that sometimes you're going to have a dud. You're going to have something that just, no matter how good the people are that are involved, like you talked about the minds, the writers, no matter how talented and how good they are, and the talent that you have, it's just, you're going to have a dud. It just happens.
WWE's, their worst is still here in AEW's down here with their mouths open.
So yeah, that's a very good point, Rico. It's like WWE's worst is AEW's not even close to their best, but it's, that's the best they're going to have. The thing is, this is what pisses me off the most. Well, this is what pisses me off though, Scott, is like I said, wrestling is hot. The indies are hotter than ever. There are so many indie promotions, not just around the world, and just in states, like small states. There are like 5, 10, 15 different independent promotions just around me in a 50-mile radius.
There are.
And they are promoted like crazy, and people are selling them out. And it is hot. Professional wrestling is hot. So the fact that AEW cannot capitalize on that because they have a match that's called a Casino Battle Royal Gauntlet match, but the match could end with the first 2 competitors.
You said something.
Tony Khan is the worst part of Eric Bischoff, Dixie Carter, and Vince Russo all fucking rolled into one.
You said something.
That's pretty much.
You said something.
Pretty much spot on. Wow.
That's a bold statement to say to Ricochet, to say to a possible Becky Lynch.
Okay, hold on.
No.
You go, and then we'll talk about Powder Pussy Ricochet on Twitter. So go on.
But let's talk about what we talked about when Ricochet was in WWE. All the matches he had with Logan Paul. What a great wrestler he is. And then you have the balls to say this statement. AEW's worst is the people that left WWE.
No. Yeah. I think his statement.
No, the statement was WWE's worst, like episodes of Raw.
Yeah, he's talking about the product.
I thought you meant the athletes. I'm like,
no, he's talking about the product. He's talking about the product.
That's ballsy.
Again,
yeah, no, he's talking about the product.
All right.
This is why I say he is the worst part of Eric Bischoff, Dixie Carter, and Vince Russo all in the one. Eric Bischoff threw money at people just to sign them. That's what Tony Khan does. Dixie Carter wanted to be the important part of the company, wanted to hold control of the company. That is what Tony Khan is doing. He's never going to let go of control until he is dead. And Vince Russo comes up with the dumbest fucking things in the world. A casino gauntlet battle royal has 21 2-1 contestants, but the match could end in the first 2 and no one else comes out. That's not a gauntlet match. That's not a Right. That's not a
It
battle
makes
royal.
no
That's
sense.
not a gauntlet match. That's just we put names and words together to make it sound important.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go right back to what I asked you. If we didn't have the internet and everybody's opinions, we'd be right back to WCW with Dixie Carter and all those clowns that ran that product. But no one had a chance. No one bashed that product because we didn't have all the internet around. We just waited till Monday night or whatever night Nitro came on, and we watched it because we liked wrestling. And I guess that's my point.
I have a rebuttal to that. Nobody bashed it in the beginning when it still had the odd-shaped ring. What happened was, which I think, honestly, this is my honest opinion. I think this is the problem with AEW. You've got too many of the workers are trying to run the show. So when TNA was like, it's different, it's unique, it's hot, then they started bringing in big name people like Hogan, and then they're like, well, you know, I want to change this, or I want to do this way, or I want to change this around that way. And then the ring was changed to the old fashioned ring. And then before you knew it, they were regurgitating storylines and freaking crap that they did years ago. And when WCW was hot, they were what? They were doing something different, and they had a different creative direction, and they utilized the talent that they had. And then they were like, well, let's just let the boys be the bookers. Remember when the boys were the bookers and all that stuff was happening in WCW?
That happened one time. It was Kevin Nash. Goldberg's been on his book. Kevin Nash has gone on his whole spiel about it. Eric Bischoff said it was the wrong decision.
Wasn't Kevin Sullivan was also?
Yeah, but
he was also a booker too.
Kevin Sullivan was more of a booker, though. He was more of a booker than he was a boy. I'll say that.
Yeah, and he was. And the cool thing about him, I will say, just to give him his respect, he never tried to put himself over.
No.
So he would book something that would make him, you know what I mean, like where he wouldn't benefit, but he would benefit one of the other boys or whatever. So
yeah, and that's like we were talking about the Young Bucks. They always have to be at the top. It's always them at the top, always them as the champions. You know, why don't you let some of the younger superstars move on up? Give someone else a chance.
That was my
Be a role model to them.
That was my question for rebuttal on Nikki D, and you said it right. So Cody Cornette believes it's all Tony Khan's fault, right? That was made obvious.
Okay,
but
yes and no. If it wasn't for Tony Khan, the guys wouldn't have a place to wrestle. But if it's not for Tony Khan, Daddy doesn't have a shell company to put his tax money in and get more tax money out of it.
But the problem is the problem really Tony Khan, or is the problem the Young Bucks, the Chris Jericho, that's basically running the show? Because they are.
Yeah, you look at people who cared about story, like Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes was there, and he was one of the EVPs, he understood, you know, hey, this is how the business works. That we shouldn't be coming out. Everybody gets a spot, and we got to have like 30-minute matches every single time. He understood you got to put something good out there to keep the crowd, back to what Cody's saying, watching. You got to have something that they're invested in. A match has to be just right, not too long, not too short, just right, and then they're pumped and they're ready for the next one. And the same thing with CM Punk. That's why CM Punk was a draw there, and he understood. But you've got other people that want to run it. Tony Khan, I think, he's just odd for one. You never really know. Like he's like again, I keep agreeing with Cody here, but he's like a kid. He's like a kid that just has all this talent stuff, and he just likes to horse around and play with it. And the other problem with that too is he doesn't have, like, to me, he's not like a Vince. Where Vince was, what he said went. You think of all those years Vince McMahon ran the company, he had a backbone. He didn't give a crap. That was it. Period. End of story. And you don't get that with Tony Khan. And you had that in WCW too, to a degree. Like Ted Turner owned it, kind of ran it, but then he brought people in that was like, okay, this is, and then eventually when the people take over, it's like, you know, you have too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, right? Or what's that old saying where
too many Chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah, the maniacs run the asylum.
Yeah, the
and then
engagement.
the ship will just freaking sink. It does it every time. You can watch it happen. It happened with WCW, and then it happened with TNA. Something that's really cool
not
and
necessarily
unique.
TNA, because TNA somehow is just a company that just will not die.
It's
I don't
somehow
know
still
why.
treading water. Yeah, it's still
Well, no,
treading
they're
water.
doing great. They're doing great numbers now. They're doing.
Now,
Yeah.
Do
They're
you guys
practically almost at
agree?
AEW numbers.
Do you guys agree where towards the end of WCW is like where AEW's at right now, where you're just like, what is going on?
No. Two big reasons. Turner Broadcasting lost their contract to the NBA.
Oh yeah.
So that's going back to NBC. They need something as quote unquote original programming, because all they do is show goddamn reruns of Seinfeld, Friends, Big Bang Theory, American Dad, Family Guy, and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
They need some sort of original programming. And yeah, they're willing to give Tony Khan not necessarily the vault, because they could probably give themselves a deal and just put everything on fucking Max, which apparently is going to happen. It's already happened overseas. They have AEW is on Max on some overseas countries in England and Australia and Japan. And it will soon all be over on Max, which I can't wait for. I think that's going to be a great deal of profit for the company itself. The streaming rights alone should be a lot, because if WWE can get $5 billion for 10 years for just Monday Night Raw,
yeah,
I don't see why Tony Khan can't walk away with $500,000 or $500 million or $750 million for all of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a 5-year company. So I could still give it that much money and be like, okay, we'll give this to you over like 10 years and it'd still be a lot of money in your pocket. But the bigger issue is that the company's not profitable.
Mm.
This is why I say it's nothing more than a shell company for Shad Khan to just pump money into and get tax money out of it. Because if the company's negative, he could just give it money to make it even.
Yeah.
That's all he has to do. He doesn't have to make it quote unquote profitable. The company is not profitable by itself. You had a 90,000 seat stadium. The rental agreement on that alone is outrageous. You did not break even. I know that for a fact. There is no way that you broke even on a rental agreement in England for Wembley Stadium. All your talent, all your producers, all your cameramen, ticket holders, shit like that. No way. No way. And you only got 50,000? No fucking way. So it's just, besides that, now you have Dave Meltzer. Well, look, before we go to Meltzer and his stupid ass star ratings, the decision to make Daniel Bryan the AEW World Champion on his last match, not under contract, brilliant. Great idea, Tony. You should have let Swerve kept it, make him a heel champion like he was going to be after that match. Let Daniel Bryan ride off into the sunset, be the vegan daddy that he wants to be, and just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
There was no need for Daniel Bryan to win the title. If he goes at the press conference and says, I'm still retiring. Why?
Makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially if everybody knew he was leaving.
He said it. He said it a year ago. I have 1 year, and I'm retiring to go be a dad.
Okay, so it was no secret. Like when Edge went over, at his Mania match against Christian years ago, and then we found out on Raw that he had to give up the belt because of his neck.
Well, that was...
Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that.
That was just a freak accident, though.
Yeah. But it's, so it's different. So, wow, that's crazy. We knew Daniel Bryan was leaving, and they still gave him the belt.
What's wrong with Daniel Bryan going out in the blaze of glory. What's wrong with that?
Christian Cage is number one. Christian Cage is number one contender.
Which shouldn't be.
I'm okay with it. I don't really necessarily care one way or the other. Christian is a great heel. He could be a great heel champion. Luchasaurus fucking screwing with people. It's fine. Whatever. But now you have a vacant champion. Again.
Or the storyline that you're gonna go, oh, that was a great storyline. When it revolves into a storyline, you're gonna come back in 3 or 4 podcasts from now and say, wow, that was brilliant, Tony Khan.
If it worked,
Cody will ever say those words.
Okay,
ever.
hold on. I'll make a bet with you. I will make a bet with you right now. If I utter the words, Tony Khan made the right call, or Tony Khan did a great thing, I will give you $20.
That'd be a dumb bet. That's a dumb bet for me because I know that's the problem. That is the problem. You can't be a wrestling fan. You can't.
Not true. Not true. Because here are the 3 matches that I think were 5-star classics in Wembley. Mariah May and Toni Storm. That was hands down. Storytelling, wrestling, everything. Great match, top to bottom. The right person won. Now you can continue on that story and just go with it. Have Mariah be a heel champion. Have Toni Storm come back after like 6 months and challenge her again and have another good match. The obvious one, Will Ospreay and MJF. Your Rock in Austin of that company.
Yep.
That is a 5-star banger classic, hands down. And it was shorter than their Dynamite match, which went an hour and also gained over 260,000 viewers in an hour. That was the only time that I saw 260 people went, man, this match is still going on? Holy shit, this match is still going on. Wait, we have a time limit? Like, fuck. 59 minutes and 58 seconds. It was an hour time limit. They went down to the wire on that. This match only went like 20-30. That's a 5-star match. And yes, the Daniel Bryan Swerve Strickland match, 5-star classic. Have no issues with that match other than the wrong person won. The emotion behind that match, the technicality behind that match, the story driven behind that match, it was good. It was really good. Those are the 3 matches I would show students or people that want wrestling. Those are the matches I would show. Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker
ended up not being a good match, huh?
That's surprising. Wow.
It's not really that surprising. They both suffer from the same problem, which is that they need the dance partner. They can't be the runner. They cannot be the leader. They can't be the person that's doing the whole goddamn thing. Neither one of them can do it. They need great dance partners. That is the problem.
Wow.
That's
I always thought that, I always thought Mercedes could do it, but she's always had somebody good to work with. So
Charlotte,
to your point,
Becky.
to your point,
Moné is the bottom of the 4 horsewomen. Period. She's the one carrying their bags.
damn.
Jack Perry versus Darby Allin was the worst match I ever saw in my fucking life. And I have seen people fuck up a shooting star press on the corner.
He says it's bad because Sting showed up. That's all.
No, that was probably the saving grace. Him and his receding hairline. That was. I love Sting. I've always loved Sting. I think he's a great man. I think he's a great character. Why though? Like I don't necessarily have an issue. The only question I have is why? You retired in Greensboro. Are you just not going to let Darby Allin die? Were you there when you pushed him out of the way of the bus? Were you there when he broke his ankle? Were you there when he shattered his back in glass? Well, you were there when he shattered his back in glass. But fuck.
Wow. You said 5 minutes. We're at 29 minutes.
I know.
I told you, time them.
Everybody else has been adding in. So we're good.
Yeah.
Hook and Jericho. Stupid. Young Bucks, FTR, and Acclaim.
Storyline. What are you talking about? Hook and Taz reunited to make there was a father-son story. What the hell storyline do you want them to do?
Nothing with Jericho.
So listen, guys, it's not that he hates AEW, guys. It's not. It's like he has 5 guys on that damn roster he can't stand. One of them is the boss, Tony Khan. The other is Chris Jericho. The other is Darby Allin, and the other one might be Monet. Obviously, he made that and the Young Bucks. So really, Cody, tell us what you really feel.
And Orange Cassidy is at the top of the list. But
I'm sorry.
I don't hate AEW as a whole company. I
couldn't have got that from your comments.
No, that's fine, but it's just I don't like some of the people there because Mercedes Moné is quote unquote the highest paid woman wrestler of all time. That's bullshit.
Wow.
Fucking like no. Let's get to the fucking elephant in the room because I've been saying it a few times now. The powder pussy Ricochet. This asshole goes on Twitter replying to a fan of his tweet saying, I don't like AEW, but I like you, and I'm going to watch your highlights. Motherfucker goes on Twitter and says, so what you just told me is that you're not going to watch any of my matches, you're just going to watch the snippets. Yeah, because nobody wants to sit through fucking 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes of a product just to get to your match. That's why they put MJF on first. That's why they put on the world title on last. Everything else in between is the stuff that loses the fucking rating.
Raw does the same thing, man.
Yeah, but the ratings don't do this on Raw. They do this. It's a very small shift of people. AEW is a roller coaster.
All up here, bigger, badder, been around longer, more experience. Tony Khan's only been doing this 5 years. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has been doing it for how goddamn long? That's what I'm saying. Experience.
If you ask Tony Khan, he's been doing it for 26.
I'm just saying, experience, man.
Yeah, did anybody mentor him? You know,
no.
Like, see, because you have to
gave
have
him his
that
dollhouse and said, "Here you go, play."
Yeah, you got to have that in the business. Like Paul Heyman was mentored by people. Paul Heyman was mentored by Vince, I think. Like Paul Heyman, he paid his dues. So by the time he went into ECW, Paul Heyman, and he's somebody I completely forgot to mention. Paul Heyman was somebody who, as crazy as that company was, and the people that he brought in to work there, they respected him. If Paul was like, "Hey, I think we should do this," they're like, "Okay." Like that guy ran that company. That guy, that company that had like freaking New Jack and Sandman and Sabu, who's insane. Like they listened to him. And that's what I mean. Like Tony Khan has to somehow turn into more of a dude like that.
Right. And he needs to, I agree with this. He needs to take his balls back from the Young Bucks, put them in his pocket, and go back to what worked. Because when Cody Rhodes was there, when CM Punk was there, they were putting on some great shows, right?
Yeah.
They were.
And they were drawing, especially when they got Punk, dude. They were drawing.
All of a sudden, the hell went to a hell in a handbasket came when CM Punk says, "Screw you guys. This is ridiculous. I'm gone." Shortly after that, Cody Rhodes left.
No, Cody Rhodes went first.
Oh,
Cody Rhodes went first, and a lot of that I think was because Adam Page, and I still was trying to watch. I wanted that company to do good. I wanted the wars. You know, I was like, this is fresh, it's something different, you know, and I'll still watch WWE. And I don't hate AEW, but it just turned me off because it was too chaotic. But the thing too was where people were just kind of like, well, like CM Punk said it best, actually. He really, really did when he called out Adam Page, and he was like, he went into business for himself. And that's what so many people do in that company. They just want to go into business for themselves. What can I do to get my crap over? What can I do to look good? And there's no, like, you're supposed to be a team, a unit. You're telling a story.
So I get that, and I get that. So there's where Tony Khan does come involved because he's not taking control of that and making it happen.
Yeah,
I
he has to
agree with that 100%. I just think that if we would give the proper people, get the Young Bucks out of charge, Tony Khan grow a set of balls, and put everything back in order like it was when Cody Rhodes was there and CM Punk was there, you're going to see a better product. But
agreed.
To compare it, I mean, you can't compare AEW to WWE at all because the experience level, there's just no way.
Here's the big, it has nothing to do with experience level. And I'm going to say this right now. Because CM Punk said it best on the Ari Harwani podcast, right? The MMA Hour.
Yeah.
AEW is not a company that wants to make money. What is WWE? A company that wants to be profitable.
Yep.
AEW, this is a direct quote. AEW is not a company that wants to make money. I believe that's why Cody Rhodes left. I believe that's why CM Punk left. I believe that's why there are several people coming out the door. I believe that's why it doesn't matter what AEW does to make it look like they're being successful. Until you put your margin in the black, you're not doing anything. The WWE could run Wembley and make a profit. The WWE could go anywhere in the world, no matter what the region, and make a profit.
Yep.
AEW goes to places where Tony Khan says, Dad, I need money to make this work.
But hasn't there been WWE pay-per-views or the PLEs or whatever they want to call it now, that have had blocked off seats because they couldn't sell the tickets? Yes. Back in the
like late 2010s.
Here recently. There's been some PLEs that they have some blacked out, or the last pay-per-view. We were bringing people from the upper levels to the floor at SummerSlam because you couldn't sell those tickets.
At SummerSlam?
We had a conversation about that. Remember, because people had second level tickets.
So no, not second level. 300 or 400.
Okay,
they bought 300 or 400 level tickets because they were cheap.
They got brought down to the floor because we couldn't sell the tickets.
Right,
so
but
what's
obviously floor tickets are going to be fucking harder to sell. But
you're still not selling tickets.
True, and that's fair. And I will give you that, Scott. They didn't sell all the tickets in Cleveland. It's Cleveland. Wait.
Sounds like excuses to me.
It is an excuse, and I'll give them an excuse. But when you did 80,000 people the year before, 80,000 plus, and you do just over half of that, and you announced it a year.
Where was last year's paper? Where was last year's All In?
Wembley.
Last year's.
Yes.
So they've been back to back.
Oh, back to back.
Yeah. You had 80,000 plus last year, 50,000 this year.
I did not know that.
You lost 30,000 people in a market that you did tremendous in. What happened? Either your ticket prices are shit. It's a combination of things. Ticket prices are shit. The economy's in the toilet overseas. We're not doing as bad as most people think, but but overseas it's all shit. They're all high priced because fucking what was it? Clash at the Castle. They had 12,000 people. It sold out the arena in Cardiff, or not Cardiff. Where was it? Wales?
Yeah, Wales.
Yeah.
Wales.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a 12,000 seat arena in Wales, but ticket prices for 300 levels were fucking $700 US.
But you're comparing a $12,000 arena, 12,000 seat arena to an 80,000 seat.
Right, but no, I'm also comparing ticket prices overseas.
Well, hell, it's going to be so much easier to. Thank you for going bye-bye.
But I would go back when you were talking about experience. Tony Khan may not have the experience, but he's got a lot of wrestlers who have that experience.
Well, you're right. My point was I was trying to make is he has the wrong experienced people running his show. That's
Yeah.
where I said he needs to pick up his balls and put the right experienced people back in charge and get
He's
rid of
gotta
the
run
young
it.
buck. Run it. I agree with that.
He's the one
He's
that
gotta
runs
run
it.
What I'm
Tony
saying,
Khan he's the end all be all at this point. The Young Bucks have no power, literally have no power. They're EVPs in name. Jericho has they might have pull saying, "Hey, I'm not going to lose my match," but Tony Khan's the one saying, "We're doing this."
No, Tony Khan's saying, "Go, okay. I don't want you guys to leave. So okay, you do what you want to do."
Even if Jericho left, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I see Tony Khan as a guy who's like just firm. We're gonna do it this way. This is how I want to do it. Or like, I don't know. You take a star like, well, think Jericho pre AEW when Vince was like, "Hey, you're gonna go out there and put Fandango over at WrestleMania," and Jericho's like, "What?"
Yeah,
like that was a ballsy thing to do, man, to a guy his talent, but he had like this vision and he knew Jericho could pull it off.
Yeah.
And I don't see Tony Khan as being somebody who I do think some of those guys tell him what to do. I do think that they have too much creative control and that's just me. I'm just looking at it maybe too deep, but I think that they just do what they want.
I think the Young Bucks control the backstage. You might
it's
believe
possible.
it or not.
I'm not going to deny it.
I think they do. I think Jericho's back there pulling strings too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the way his segments are going, there's no way that he's not.
Yeah,
I think all those people, and I just think all those people are pulling the strings, and he needs to buck it up a bit and say no.
Yeah, isn't that what
saying?
JR was saying that too? Actually, JR said that in an interview. I feel like it was not that long ago where he got really frustrated.
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm done with this because none of these young guys want to listen. They don't want to listen to the people who have experience who are trying to say, hey, this is what you have to do. This is how you become a draw. This is how you think back in the old days when Michaels was like bugging Piper all the time. How do I become main event? How do I become main event?" And Piper was like, okay, this is because he wanted to become main event. So he listened to what Piper told him. Like, that's that thing is you got to listen to that experience, and some people just want to do their own thing. And you got so much talent. There's so much experience there. Like even Mark Henry went over there for crying out loud. Like, and I love Mark Henry.
And he's gone. He's back with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he left and went back?
Yeah.
No, he didn't leave. His contract lapsed.
Now you're going to see Ricky Starks supposedly coming to WWE.
Yeah, that's possible. There's something he's either injured or healing from an injury, whatever.
Didn't Garcia show up at Bash?
All In.
All In. He showed
yes,
up there.
He did.
Now,
and I'm kind of bummed. I really hoped
not to break kayfabe or anything like that, but Cody, really, a lot of my responses to you is because I know it gets you going.
No, that's fine. I get it. You want content. I'm not going to blame you for that.
I am saying this. I am not a fan of AEW. I honestly can tell you I'm not a real fan of WWE's product at this moment. As far as Raw, I like it, but if I was to say a fan, I'm a fan of more independent wrestling. I'd watch independent Monday through Friday.
That's fine.
And you listed so many more. As much as I hate the dumbass that claps his hands when his name is called,
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I'd rather watch him. Than I would rather watch some of Raw, because some of Raw.
Oh, agreed.
Some of Raw. I mean, you hit it. You did say it. Wrestling is at a hot state at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
ROH is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Impact is phenomenal. NXT is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck,
NXT is beating AEW ratings.
SmackDown is blowing the waters out of things. Of course, it's the storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE Raw is not a bad show, but I would rather watch an independent show because, in my opinion, the money has clogged people's minds as far as talent goes. And these guys on the independent scene go out there on a weekly basis. Matt Cardona, can't stand the stupid son of a bitch. I think he's an egotistic motherfucker. But
he's changed a lot.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much real heat behind that.
AJ Francis, amazing. All these guys, GCW. I mean, we could sitting back and name a bunch of
Sure.
independent shows. Amazing. Nikki D, you were an independent wrestler once, right?
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you guys. Until I watched it, my first independent. Rico said this about 4 months ago when he got to see his first independent wrestling show. You guys are phenomenal.
Yep.
You guys go out there and not for the dollar. You guys go out there because you love the business, right? And that's so when I say that, I mean it. I mean it because you guys, the independent scene, unreal. Raw, but smack. So it's opinion. It's a matter of opinions,
Right.
And I appreciate your opinions on AEW. I disagree with the Darby Allin and the Sting thing. I mean, I love Darby. I love that kind of match.
Sting.
I love that match because I love that stupid stuff Darby Allin thinks he has to do.
Okay, so that brings up I'll say this, and then we can head on to Berlin because we need to talk about that too. Darby Allin is the definition of not TV ready. He does moves that are not for TV. He literally came out at All In with thumbtacks glued to his face with the point out, so that if he headbutted Jack Perry, thumbtack. Again, they brought out real glass. They did the thumbtack stuff. Darby Allin did 25,000 different coffin drops onto the apron and onto the ring and onto the floor and onto the casket and onto everything else that you could possibly think of, and destroyed his spine more than anybody with spina bifida. But he does stuff that isn't made for a TV audience.
But some of that stuff he did on the pay-per-view, All In, it showed the story. They brought the glass from the car that he got put through. That's storytelling. That's like, oh shit. The thumbtacks, they've been through hell, and those two guys, they've been destroying each other for the last month and a half.
When the glass got pulled out and he dumped it onto the ring, all you heard was "fuck CM Punk, fuck CM Punk, fuck CM Punk, fuck CM Punk."
I just did highlights.
So when you're having your fans chant the guy's name who berated the company, left it, and went to another one who's making 3 times as much money on 2 matches because he tore his goddamn bicep again because it wasn't healed properly the first time.
Yeah.
Does the 2 people in the ring even fucking matter at that point?
He's living rent free in all of their heads.
Yeah.
That's what he's living rent free.
With AEW, Tony Khan, stop giving the Hot Tua girl a run for her money and man up.
Wait, okay, hold on. What the fuck does that mean? Because I need to know right now.
You don't know about the Hot 2 girl?
You know, I know who that is. I want to know what that sentence means.
That sentence means he's busy going instead of actually manning up and telling them what to do.
Yes. That bitch is famous for saying something stupid, and I love it.
Why aren't you famous?
Right? Like, people are stupid on the internet one time. I do it on a daily basis, and no one says anything to me.
Nope. You're still a truck driver, bro.
Dumbass truck driver. But that was our thoughts on AEW, All In, Tony Khan, the company, the superstars. Way too fucking long, but I had to get it off my chest because it was boiling inside. So,
all right, so Bash at Berlin.
Okay,
let's run down the card. Oh, by the way, first of all, does each color of Fruit Loops taste the same? You ever think about that?
You son of a bitch!
Like that's something that you ask a high person or something. Like, what does this one taste like?
Hold on. In my experience, every color of Fruit Loops tastes different.
My next question is, that's the random question. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, hot dog's a sandwich.
No,
actually,
it's not.
Technically, it's a taco.
Hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah.
Not really a sandwich, no.
No.
Not considered a sandwich.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Cody.
so I have a
Ashton Berlin.
Oh, hold no. You don't need to do that now, motherfucker. If you take a hot dog roll and pull it apart, that is a mini sub roll. So if you put that on a hot dog, it is a sandwich.
Gosh dang it, he's right. He's right. Because if you take that, it's like a little sub. Okay, it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich.
It's a sub.
Whatever. A hoagie. Who gives a shit?
Is a meatball sub a sandwich?
Yes.
Actually.
It's technically considered a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Those are from my brother's MD Level T. He wanted me to ask those questions.
Of course he did. So let's go with the first match of the night, probably, because I don't see any other match being the first match of the night. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, the Unholy Union, Abba Fire and Abaddon, whatever the fuck her name is, against Belair and Cargill. Do you think the Black Beauties get the titles back?
No.
You're gonna go against your girl?
I'm gonna say no because I'm gonna say this is where one of them's turning heel.
Okay, who would you rather have turn heel? Because
Bianca.
Cargill should not.
Yeah.
Bianca.
It has to be the one that carries the match. We've talked about this before. It can't be Jade.
Literally, we just talked about this between Sasha and Britt Baker. So,
Yeah.
Bianca Belair would definitely have to carry that load and carry the whole rivalry.
Yeah.
And we're at the point where do we start thinking about Mania?
That's what I'm saying. Build up Bianca and Jade at Mania.
Yeah.
That'd be a long build up though.
Well, look how we did what was it, Rock and Cena, a whole year.
Yeah.
Actually probably a little bit more than a year build up.
That was different though. That was different. You said Rock and Cena?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was like match of the century. That was like two different generations. So yeah, they could do that.
That time.
They could do that. Plus Rock wasn't there he was there a lot, but he wasn't there like every single week. Cena was. With these two ladies, they're there every week. So I think I don't think you give it that long because then it could,
so do we have it started start at Survivor Series and build towards Rumble, build towards Mania, or do we have it
that's when I would do it.
Have the rivalry at Survivor Series.
So
I personally would have it start as that. To me, that just makes sense. That just makes sense. Like any rivalry I think of that was building up to Mania where you were like, oh shoot, where they were together and then they broke up. It always seems to happen around that time, and then it just kind of builds up. Isn't that what they did with Hogan and Warrior? They were on the same team and they were knocking people down, and then
they did it at Rumble.
Warrior turned around and clotheslined Hogan by mistake and was like, "Whoops!" And then it just kind of.
You're asking next pay-per-view?
Yeah, when's the next pay-per-view?
I do believe it is Bad Blood in October.
Yeah,
I don't
Bad
think
Blood.
September is going to have a pay-per-view this year.
I believe it's October.
I asked that question because I think that you're right, Rico. I think they need to heel turn.
Let me check.
But I think heel turn would make more sense either at Bad Blood or Survivor Series in November.
No, I could see that. It'd probably be a
leading into the WrestleMania season, right? So I would say give them the titles until maybe Bad Blood, and let the heel turn happen at Bad Blood. And then, because I don't know,
they necessarily don't need the titles for that build up either, because you can have it where they just keep losing, and then now you can have Bianca saying, "You're holding me down. I'm not winning because of you."
You can do that too,
I think I'd like that. See, that's where I'm leaning. I think they win, and then that's just them staying together, and then have it closer, as you get closer to the end of the year, then they can have the split, then they can build the animosity, one of them can turn, and you go from there.
I think so too.
Holy shit.
Either way it could go, it could be good.
Okay.
What's wrong, Cody?
We have, including Bash at Berlin, 4 pay-per-views left for the year for WWE.
Really?
We have 2 left for NXT. No Mercy and I just saw it. Give me a second. It was Halloween Havoc. Yeah,
Yep.
Halloween Havoc and No Mercy are NXTs. And Bash at Berlin, Bad Blood, Crown Jewel November 2nd, Survivor Series November 28th. And then we don't have anything until February 1st.
Ooh.
I say give it to them this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And then start a heel turn maybe at the one right before the first one you said in November.
Survivor
Crown
Series.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel's in late. Well,
Early. It's going to be November 2nd.
November
2nd. See, that's perfect time. That's perfect time.
Leading into Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
Or all shit's going to hit the fan anyways.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe you have them. Maybe you have them if they're still going to do that, where you have this team against this team, like the classic Survivor Series match. You could even put them in something like that while they're beefing, and they could be on the same team, and then their animosity can build even more. There's different ways you can do it, but I think they go over on Saturday.
I think so too.
Okay. So we have 2 saying that the Unholy Union's going to win and 2 saying that Bianca and Cargill are going to win.
Yep.
So not bad. That's fine. Split down the middle. The mixed tag team match: Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan versus Damian and Rhea.
I'm kind of torn on that one.
Dominic and Liv should win. Period.
I think so, to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, and the only time, and Trips, Papa H, if you're listening, if you ever listen, do it now. Don't let Rhea Ripley touch Dominic until the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Eliminate him from the Rumble with Rhea Ripley. Goodbye. Have her moment, and then focus on something else.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
That's just the way I'm thinking. Do you think we can hold out September, October, November, December, January? 6 months?
Without her touching him?
Without her slamming him. She could grab him, somehow escape.
Yeah.
But without him hitting the mat.
That's a while.
It is a while. I don't know. That's a good idea, though. That's a good idea. And yeah, I kind of like it if they keep it going. But I think in order for them to keep it going, Dirty Dom and Liv would have to go over, which is insane for me to even think. I'd look at that match and I'm like, there's no way Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley lose. There's no way.
Well, you have Funko Pop, JD McDivitt.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have fucking Carlito.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have people that are going to fucking interfere in this match. There's
Very
no way
true.
they're not.
My thought is we're not thinking about anybody helping Rhea and Damian. I think they might get that this time. Don't know who, but I think they're not dumb, right? They're pretty crap. They're pretty solid, crafty individuals. Strong power. Like I agree with you, Nikki D. I do not see it even being what word am I looking for? Not even realistic. There's no way that if you put those 4 in a ring, that Liv and Dom get out of there at all without being messed up.
Yeah.
Size of that chick alone, size of Rhea Ripley alone, with those muscles and shit, man, she would
She's a
beat
killer,
up.
dude. She's a killer.
She's phenomenal. And so my pick is Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest and then Dominic.
And Damian Priest he's a monster also. What do they call them? The
Terror Twins.
Terror Twins, which I'm
Terror. I keep thinking the Towers of Terror. I go back to like WCW, but yeah. That's what I was thinking because they're.
Holy God.
Cody liked that nickname.
That was horrible. That was bad.
So what do we got?
As bad as Ding Dong.
What do we got? How many saying that the Rhea and Dom's going to or Damian's going to win?
I say Rhea.
Yeah.
So you say Rhea and Damien, you say Rhea and Damien. I'm saying Liv and Dom
I say
because
Liv and
they need
Dom.
the fucking win. So again, we're split down the middle.
We're split.
Love
Yeah.
this. 3 big matches, and I don't know which one to go with next, honestly. Well, I guess we'll go with the stipulation match, the strap match. Now, 2 years ago when they had the strap match between McIntyre and Cross, there wasn't the touching of the corners.
Nope.
Now we're bringing back the touching of the corners.
Mm-hmm.
So since that was specifically said, bullshit finish. I'm going to say that right now. I don't know who's going to get it. I don't know who's going to get the pissed off figuring on the end there. So if everybody remembers 2004, Eddie Guerrero JBL bull rope match.
Oh yeah.
They had to touch the corners.
Yeah.
Eddie jumped over JBL to touch the corner, technically since JBL's back hit the corner first.
Because he had to drag. Yeah, he was dragging Eddie, and Eddie was slapping him as he was dragging wrong, and JBL didn't see it, and he kept slapping him. So yeah, that was a unique finish, though, like kind of. But
I'm pretty sure we're gonna see that again. I just don't know which way it's gonna go. That's why this rivalry is so good. This story is being told so well. Nobody knew who the winner was going to be at SummerSlam, and no one knows who's going to be the winner now.
Yep, it's a toss-up to me. I don't know.
That is a very hard choice right there, and that's where
I have no idea.
You want to keep the story going.
I'm going to say Punk to keep the story going, but you could keep the story going with Drew and Punk finally getting like revenge in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
Yeah,
I go with that. I think somehow, some way, CM Punk's going to get too fixated on that bracelet that Drew has. He's going to lose sight of it, and and McIntyre's going to go over and win it. And which Rico, I'll say yes. And then you're going to go to Hell in a Cell for one more Drew McIntyre CM Punk finish, but this time it's in a cell and only one way out.
Yeah.
So I say Drew McIntyre's going to win it. That's my pick.
No, not to change stuff, but I just want to see a normal, old school steel cage match. No pin, just actually climb over the cage. That's the only way to win.
Or go out the door.
Or out the door. I just want to see that one more time. Just a classic.
I do believe the last time that it was just strictly escape the cage was, and I could be wrong on this, was Rock Triple H 99 on a random Raw.
Nice cup, Rico.
And then everything afterwards has been pin, submission, or escaping the cage.
Oh my gosh, really? That long ago?
I think it's been that long. Again, I could be wrong. There have been steel cage matches since then.
But they've all been pin.
Yeah. Pinfall or escaping the cage.
Yeah, it shouldn't be pin or submission. It should just be escape or like just get out of the cage.
Yeah.
So just so I know, everybody's pick was Drew.
I'm tossed up, but I'm going to go with Drew.
So Rico says Drew.
Yeah, I'm also going to lean towards Drew, even though I wouldn't be shocked if it was the other way around. I just don't know.
I'm gonna go Punk, just because it would make sense for him to get a win. Then they have the rubber match at Bad Blood, whatever. But they could still have the match at Bad Blood, just the way the story's going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna pick Punk.
Nice cup, Rico.
Oh, thank you.
Next match, the World Heavyweight Championship between the newly crowned champion and the King General Gunther versus the 14-time World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton.
All right. I want so deeply in my heart for Randy to win, but I don't think he's going to. I want him to win, but I think Gunther's going to take that.
Yeah, I love them both, but I think Gunther wins. Like he has to. I shouldn't say it like that. I take that back. because he doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to hold on to the belt, I think, because he's still Gunther. He's built up this persona and everything, but I think he wins. And I think they keep the belt on him.
I'll go after you, Rick, or Nikki D, and I would say this. I'd say this. He's young enough and has many more years left in the tank. Right now, he doesn't need that belt because he can get another belt quickly.
Yeah,
he's that damn good, right? And I say that because I want to pay respect to probably one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and Randy Orton. This guy has been through hell in a handbasket. We've been fans of his for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Why not give him one more belt? He's on his way out, guys. Come on, let's face it. He's on his way out.
He said he has at least 5 years left.
Well, let's give him a belt now when he has 5 years left until it's not bound to the last year, like Daniel Bryan, and give it to him on his last day. Right?
yeah.
Let's not make that mistake that AEW made, right?
Yeah, let's not make that mistake twice.
Let's give him the belt now. And so if he carries it for 4 months.
Honestly,
I would be very happy with that.
One of two things. Carry it till Mania and face John Cena at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Have somebody
that goes
beat him
way back too. And I would be tickled to see that because those two go all the way back to OVW.
Yeah.
Like so that would be amazing if they did that. I'd lose it.
Weird fact, they've never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania.
Really? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Never. Really?
Never at WrestleMania.
Triple threat with Triple H at 24. Orton faced Triple H at 25. Cena faced Michaels and Triple H at 22 and 23, respectively. Cena won a triple threat between Edge and Big Show at 25. Cena won against Batista at 26. Lost against Miz at 27. Lost against The Rock at 28. Won against The Rock at 29. Won against Bray Wyatt at 30. Won against Rusev at 31. Showed up at 32 because, I'm Cena. And yeah, I don't think he wrestled at 30. No, he did wrestle at 33 because it was him and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, which was the consolation prize for the engagement ring because he won the WWE Championship for 2 weeks. Fuck you, Vince. And then after that, he didn't really do much at Mania. And then Orton's always been on his own path.
Yeah, there was one where what didn't he fight? Like the Undertaker just walked through him.
Oh yeah, Undertaker dogged him at 34.
Yeah. That was all a respect thing too. That was like because it's Taker.
Well, it was like Cena's like Taker was ready for a 20-30 minute match at WrestleMania 34. Cena looks at him and goes, "Yeah, you're gonna dog walk me." What? Dude, I've been shit talking you for 4 weeks. You should dog walk me.
Yeah, he's got a point. I know you're in shape. You wouldn't be doing those workout videos on your wife's Instagram and all that crap he was talking. Oh, there goes my light.
Right, Wyatt 6. Watch out.
Yeah.
No, but I don't want to. If they're gonna do the Cena Orton at WrestleMania, you're gonna fall in that same trap that you just talked about Danielson winning on his last year. I don't. Yeah,
but Cena's gonna be going all the way to December.
Yeah, but
Cena only needs to win it for a night.
Yeah, but why do that? I mean,
to have Orton a 17-time world champion. That's why you do it. To have the record. To say the GOAT has the record.
Yep.
And he kind of is. Yeah. He is.
But I see Orton winning at Bash and then possibly getting Cena.
And I would not be upset if he did.
Oh, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset. That's a match I can watch it, and I won't be upset either way.
I'm going to say 2 numbers. 869, 667. Since Gunther has started with the company in NXT UK, held the NXT UK Championship, then hopped on the main roster and won the Intercontinental Championship, this man has been a champion for 76% of his career.
Wow.
I'm going to go with stats, I'm going to go with facts, and I'm going to go with Gunther beating the piss out of Randy Orton.
All right. So who do we got next?
The last match.
Who'd
The
you
match
take, Rico? Who'd you take?
Oh, like I said, I want so badly for Randy to win, but I agree with Cody. I think just there's too much momentum and everything with Gunther, so he's going to win.
Well, I guess my decisions. I get that. I get what you're saying. But my decision is time is running out for Orton, and Gunther can get that title back. So
No,
why
that
not?
is true. That is very true. And I would love to.
Could have a random title change on Raw.
I mean, if we're getting into the how many times this is going to be big for Orton if he wins his title. I mean,
this would be his 15th,
right? Mm-hmm. So that's huge.
And he will tie with Triple H.
So that's huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is huge.
So why not do that if we're talking about records?
And we have almost 5 weeks until the next pay-per-view. So you might as well throw in a title defense somewhere.
Right.
And if it has to be the night after or the week after, whatever, build it up. You could do it in the middle of the plan for Bad Blood. Build it up to where Orton and Gunther round 3. Gunther beats the piss out of Orton, then takes it till Mania.
Yep. What's the next match?
The last match, we're only doing 5 matches per PLV unless we are the Royal Rumble or a 2-night SummerSlam or a 2-night WrestleMania. The unwanted match of Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, does anybody else kind of feel like that match was just forced together?
No.
Come on.
No. Come on. What do you mean? This is all part of the story. This is all part of them finishing the story. Yes, it's forced upon us.
I was just like, come on, really? I mean, nothing against KO, but come on.
It doesn't. Nah.
That solidifies my point about what WWE is doing to Cody Rhodes.
I will say this. AJ Styles. I don't even know who he fought in between the 2 AJ Styles matches. Logan Paul. AJ Styles, Logan Paul. Those were good matches. Those showed a side of Cody that needed to be shown.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Solo. And it's like, why? That match was nothing more than a build up to Roman, which sucks. Yeah, it was an okay match, but the ending is what we wanted to see the most, and not the champion. Now we've, like Scott has been predicting since fucking WrestleMania 40, we are seeing a champion that has moments elapsing him and eclipsing him more than his championship run, which again,
you did predict that too. You really, really did say that.
It was written on the wall. I mean, how did anybody not see that?
I didn't see it, or maybe it's because I didn't want to see it. I was like, we're not in love with the chase. We're not in love with the chase. It's the guy, and all that stuff is great, but yeah. And I wonder if the draw, because certain people are draws, right? Not to like cut in front of you, Cody. I'm sorry, but like Roman wasn't on that card. I wonder if he was on that card, if that place sells out, because he's a freaking draw.
Okay, so to even further your point, Roman Reigns came back SummerSlam at 11 o'clock p.m. EST. At 12 o'clock p.m. or a.m. EST, made the company $1 million.
Well, I remember you talked about that before, but that was, what did he do? There was like a certain belt, or
there was 1,316 belts made for SummerSlam at $800 a pop as a commemorative Roman Reigns belt. His design, his logo, everything to represent the 1,316-day reign that he had as champion. $800 a pop, or $600 a pop, and made over $800,000 in 1 hour.
Yep.
Well, huge pop. I was gonna wear my shirt tonight too.
OTC, yep. Original tribal chief. There you go.
After the show was over, people still spent money.
I ordered mine the day. I was on WWE Shop that night.
You ordered the shirt,
Yep.
but they had commemorative belts made specifically for SummerSlam. You can't buy it on WWE Shop.
Yeah.
That
And
was a specific event thing.
And again, like Cody's saying, is right to his point too. That's case in point. But he's a draw. He's a draw.
Is Cody Rhodes over? Tremendously. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's starting to do the sing-alongs, which is great. I have no issue with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a phenomenal talent. Will be a big draw once he turns heel. The right now, the thing is that this is the John Cena we needed. He is right now in his own way the John Cena everybody wanted. When John Cena was John Cena, nobody wanted John Cena. Nobody wanted rehash Hogan. Nobody wanted say your prayers, eat your vitamins. All I did was put the ear from my hand and put it in front of my face.
Yeah.
Didn't want that. Now they want Cody because a lot of the people, they do want Cody to a point, Scott. Do I think that his championship reign is somewhat diminished? Yes, unfortunately. It's going to be overshadowed at this point because of Roman coming back, because of the Bloodline storyline, because of everything going on. Because when Paul Heyman comes back, no matter what the fuck Cody does on that SmackDown, we're all going to be talking about Heyman.
Yeah.
Overshadowed. You use the right word, overshadowed. And that's unfortunate. That's sad. And I'm you all think I'm a Cody basher. No. I agree with you, Cody. That guy is phenomenal.
He's trying to say he hates being right while smirking and going, ha, 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 ha.
He was right. I'll admit that you were right. And I disagreed with you, but you were right.
What I'm saying is, you used the right word, overshadowed.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives a shit about his title now. Mm-mm. And now you're going to put him up against Kevin Owens? Really?
Right.
Just like a random.
Why?
Yeah, we got to fill a slot. Here you go.
So we're either going to have Kevin turn heel, or it's going to be a match for the sake of a match, and then later down the line become an angle.
Yeah.
I see it being a hell of a match. Beating the piss out of each other. Cody getting a win. Whatever. After beating the hell out of each other, Cody Rhodes helps Kevin Owens up. Kevin Owens holds his hand up with Cody Rhodes' hand up. Cody Rhodes goes to a corner. All of a sudden, over comes KO. Smash, heel turn, beat the piss out of Cody Rhodes. And now we'll have to get another Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match, which is going to be stupid.
Well, at least there'll be story behind it.
Yeah, there will be. Yep.
But if he turns heel, that's going to have to be how it is.
But see,
at least the next one will have story.
It's like on Monday Night Raw. You have your world champion. But like Cody, you mentioned it earlier. He's like the fourth or fifth person we talk about because of all the other things going on.
Yeah. And that's sad. I really am. Again, I'm not a Cody Rhodes hater. But you said it, Rico. No one. I'd rather talk about Rhea Ripley and Dom's situation, the Wyatt Six, and how they beat up Chad Gable and his people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hell of a match, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Bo Dallas
can
go like a son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, great everything. And then we talk about. And that match, that Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match at Raw last night, it was almost like Kevin Owens had that belt. It was almost like he was going to hit Cody Rhodes.
SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown. Okay. I'm sorry, he wanted to.
Yeah. And
it was almost a mess up. Mm-hmm. I think the goal was to hit him, but it was like, I don't know.
There you go.
Well, no, because they showed how Kevin Owens betrayed all his partners or people that he was friends with, and I love it how he breaks the fourth wall and goes, "Look, I did it to Kofi. I'm sorry, that one was on me." But everybody else deserved it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, it is. no one's gonna care about the if
No.
Cody Kevin goes on first, I wouldn't be upset.
No.
I'd be a little mad that the WWE Championship is not the last title on the show, but
Yeah.
due to circumstances with everything else on this card, with the exception of the women's tag titles, yeah, we have a strap match between two rivals. We have the women's tag titles, which could go on second for all I fucking care. No one's going to watch it. That's going to be the bathroom break match. You have Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley fighting Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan, which, by the way, 3 out of those 4 people are in a rivalry with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have what Orton has said, Smooth versus Smoother, Dragon versus Flair, Technician versus Technician. This is going to be a hell of a match.
Yep.
And I do believe that Gunther should be the main event. It's in his home country. It's in.
He really should be.
It should.
If Cody goes on first, I wouldn't be upset.
Right.
I'll say that.
I agree 100%.
I think have them go on, have the girls go on first, Cody and Kevin on second, and let Gunther and Randy.
The thing is, I agree with you, Rico, but the thing is, the thing I've been with hanging out with these guys in the independents, like XIW and the promoters there, you want to put the Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens on before, because that's going to be a bigger, more attentive match than because like Cody said, the girls tag team match is to go to bathroom match.
And it may be a great match. I hate to say it that way, but that's going to be the match that no one. I think people care more about the Cody Rhodes match more than the women's tag.
Yeah.
But it's still on that, like, you know, do we put Cody on first? Which I wouldn't be upset by that, because he's already gone on first a couple times.
Yeah.
Since he's won the title, which is fun. No issue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've kind of gone over quite a bit on time.
Yeah. Rico's gonna looks like you're falling asleep, Rico.
Well, I got to get up in 3 hours here.
Oh, Jesus. Why did you say something? God, I would shut the fuck up a while ago.
45 minutes ago.
4.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
But no, it's been a blast getting back on the show.
That was fun.
There you have it. Bash of Berlin predictions. We talked about AEW All In. We talked about Bash of Berlin. Next week, I assume if there's no interviews, Scott, we'll talk about Bash of Berlin.
That's the plan.
Hold on. If there's any interviews,
results. Recap.
right now, I have nothing planned for that. That's September, right?
That would be September.
Oh, September 3rd. You guys might want to be part of this.
Yeah.
Mark, Henry, or Godwin. Or Henry.
Henry O'Godwin?
Yes.
No shit.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So I will not be talking about Bash in Berlin on the 2nd. Or on the 3rd.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow, that takes me back.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody remember Pug? Alex Portier?
Yes.
He's on the 23rd. And a guy named Rick Allen, he is on the 9th. And that's all I got so far in September. So, but that Tuesday is filled with Henry Godwin.
Okay, so do you want to do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
I don't know what these guys, I can do Monday, but I don't know what these guys' schedule are.
As long as I'm not getting murdered at work.
Hey, isn't that Labor Day?
Yeah, Monday would be Labor Day.
Yeah,
Shit.
Monday is Labor Day.
Yeah, Monday's Labor Day.
Yeah. Oh.
Why not? So
I mean, I'm good whenever. I have nothing to do.
I mean, I'm not working Monday, so.
Well, that's a plus. Thank God I'm not either.
Let's do that. Want to try for Monday, Rico?
Yeah, we can try.
All right, let's do Monday review of Bash in Berlin.
Cool.
So, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. We're going to do Bash at Berlin responses on Monday, September 2nd. Henry Godwin on September 3rd. And that's the week of Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast coming forward. Nothing the rest of the week here. I don't at the moment.
Well, you got your football Friday.
Football Friday. We're talking about what we're gonna do Thursday. So tune in on Thursday afternoon.
Oh, it's on Thursdays.
Matt has something to do on Friday.
Oh, that's right.
So before we end, real quick, you tell your brother. Maybe he can agree with me on this, and maybe you can. I would like to know how it has got so political where your defending champions are ranked 9th because they lost their coach and players instead of giving them the chance to actually be the number 1 team. And if they lose, okay, they're not as good as they were last year. But you didn't even give them the chance.
Okay, I will say this, and I'm just probably going to piss you off, Rico.
That I don't want to hear it.
I am fine with them being ranked lower than number 1 because I think you would agree. The Big Ten just turned the most difficult conference in football with the addition of Oregon, Washington, USC, and some other team. Oregon is tough. Texas. That just turned into that Big Ten turned into massive.
Oh yeah.
They're not good. Michigan, unfortunately, they're not going to win every game. I see what you're saying, Rico. Let's give them number 1 until they're not. That's what they would do. That's what they did with Georgia. That's what they did with Alabama.
That's my thing is like you didn't even give them a chance. You just said, "Oh, you lost your coach, you lost some players. You're not going to be that good." So you're
because they don't play in the SEC. That's why. There's been SEC bias forever when it comes to those rankings.
Look at Ohio State. They're ranked 2.
Well, which is weird because Ohio State gets that, and Michigan trounced the teams that they played, especially last year. But they're still ranked in the top 10, and I'm kind of okay with that because of the fact Sherrone Moore is not like some rookie. But he coached them the last 3 regular season games. He coached them to the win over Ohio State to clinch the East.
I hope Shannon Moore has his team ready. They go out and kick some ass.
Oh yeah,
because they got a point. They got a thing to prove, right?
Yep.
They have to. You know what I'm saying? They have a point to prove, and I think they're going to do it. And but Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast people, we care about our buddy Rico down here who has to get up at 4 a.m. I have to get up at 5. So, but it's always a joy. I'll say this so I sound like a pussy, but I always love hanging out with Cody Cornette, Nikki D, Rico. You guys are my brothers, family. Love you guys. You guys are a reason why I do this Tuesday show. I try not to book something, but when I had to book Unreal Godwin, I had to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love this Tuesday show. Here in a couple, maybe a month, we might have a 5th member. His name is Quentin. He's a new house parent on campus here that wants to figure out what we do. He's been in the chat a couple times. He wants to, and he's great. He's a wrestling fan. And so Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Cornette, for going 45 minutes over your timeline on All In. Appreciate you.
He brought the passion. He brought that passion. That's all that matters.
Content. If everybody wants to see you later.